afternoon. Welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. My name is Tanay Tiwari. It's India versus Netherlands. India won the toss, opted to bat first, and all our predictions were for India to score in excess of 200. But at the end of their 20 overs, they've scored 179 for 2. Half centuries for Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Suryakumar Yadav. An express one from Sky. Van Meekeren getting 1 wicket, Fred Klaassen getting 1 wicket for the Netherlands. I'm joined by Zaheer Khan. Zach, welcome to the show. And it was pretty clear, pretty quickly, that it wasn't a 200 plus track at all.
It wasn't for sure. I think the wicket has slowed down. We did speak about the pace of deliveries. We did speak about the two-pace nature of the wicket, which will come into play. There will be some assistance for the spin bowling. Netherlands starting with a spin bowler, Tim Pringle was a good move, and India has done well considering the kind of conditions they're playing in on this particular track. Making sure that they reach in excess of 170 is always going to be good. 179 is a good total on this track. The spinners will come into play. So I think all in all has been a good outing. Virat continuing with the form. Rohit Sharma getting those runs. Little unfortunate with KL. He could have gone for that review. Wasn't the case. But Surya making sure that he gets that 50 on the last ball was the exciting part as well.
Very warm welcome to Simon Doull on the show as well. And Simon, you agree with Zach's sentiments because at one point at the 10th over mark with 67 for 1 on the board, it seemed like the ship wasn't going anywhere. And then Surya came out and said, well, hold that coffee of mine, I'm going to get you there.
Yeah, it looked a little tougher, didn't it? I think that was one of the things we can take from the first innings was, it looks like it's just been a little bit harder to bat as the day has gone on. So that's something that I think India maybe felt a little bit, but the way that Surya played, the way that Virat played at the back end of the innings was certainly a key. They've got plenty of runs. It's not an issue as to how many runs they've got. I think they've got plenty with the bowling attack they have against the Netherlands. They just made sure they found a way, and those innings, particularly at the back end with Surya, was magnificent.
Yeah, and there seemed to be a format to this. Of course, the track, we saw this in the previous game as well. South Africa, Bangladesh. South Africa tried a lot of off-pace deliveries. Bangladesh also did that towards the end of their innings, and runs were hard to come by, Zach. And yet, for the template to kick in the way it did, Virat Kohli always takes his time, but then accelerates, something that he did very well today. Suryakumar Yadav did a Suryakumar Yadav.
Exactly. And on these sort of pitches, you can't start hitting the ball from the word go. You have to get your eye in. You have to understand the nature of the wicket and choose your options accordingly. So that's something which we've seen. Rohit was the one who was aggressor at the beginning. Making sure that he's not letting the bowlers come on top of him. So that is something which worked nicely. Virat just continued with his form. Got his eye in, and then later on looked to capitalize on the back end of the innings. Surya was a good outing for him, like how we were talking about before the start of play, that what India should be looking to achieve from this game. I think what they set out to achieve, they achieved it beautifully. You have two main batters be not out there, finish the innings for your team on a high. Capitalizing on the back five of the innings as well beautifully. So these are the things and the pointers you look at. I think all those boxes were ticked nicely.
Yeah, Simon, on India's batting now, we've seen a sort of a template with them. They are quite away from the convention. They don't really like going very hard in the power play. They like to consolidate. They know they've got the batters like in the likes of Suryakumar Yadav and now increasingly Kohli as well, who can go on and score those big runs. In that case, would it make a case for perhaps Rishabh Pant to come in? Because you may not need Dinesh Karthik, the finisher, if they keep batting like this.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think you'd pick a team for all sorts of circumstances. And at the moment, they feel this is still their best team. And I don't mind it whatsoever. It's not always going to work out that you don't need a Dinesh Karthik or that DK doesn't get a bat. And so for me, that I have no issue with the way that they're selecting their side at the moment. And, time will come deep into the tournament and against better sides where they will lose 3, 4, 5 wickets and they'll need the DKs and the Hardicks and even perhaps Bhuvi and Akshar at sometimes as well to just finish off those 2, 3, 4 overs at the back end. So I don't think at the moment they're worried about Rishabh Pant and and picking him over DK. They're just saying that, look, he's our finisher. He's the way that we want to set this team up. And he's there. It's not an insurance. It's just the fact that if he gets 2, 3, 4 overs, they feel he's better option to go from ball one than Rishabh Pant maybe is. And I think that's, I have no issue with the way they've looked at that. And that's certainly, how DK played the IPL when we saw that through the early part of the year as well. So it's an okay, I think it's a decent selection policy at the moment. Until that proves to be wrong, then I don't think they'll change anything.
Yeah, and this Indian team management is very averse to those kind of changes as well. I mean, they believe in a lot of role clarity. They believe in giving that kind of freedom to the players, and we've seen that with this team. But today, in that partnership, the kind of shot making was just brilliant, Zach. I mean, once they got set, Suryakumar Yadav and Virat were showing off. They weren't batting.
Well, I wouldn't say showing off, but I think they were in the zone. You kind of build your innings. You understand the pace of the pitch. You understand the bowlers as well. See, when you're playing against these sort of teams, also these bowlers you've not faced that often. So that tad bit of time you got to take to understand, okay, what is the style of the bowling? What is, of course, you do your homework as well beforehand. But still, when you're playing on a track which is little too paced, the ball is not coming onto the bat. It becomes even more important for you to be proactive and staying with the conditions. I think both the batters are more than experienced enough to understand that and build their innings. That's what experience brings to you, and what we witnessed is a quality. So quality and the ability of each individual are there, and both of them have been in form leading to the tournament. Virat also had a good Asia Cup. The monkey was off his shoulders, so he was much more calm with that regard. And Surya has been in good touch. So from India's point of view, it's good that these batters have Rohit and Surya today got those runs. These are the things are going to be helpful. That time in the middle, time under these conditions, these are the grounds you will be playing on. So I think from those parameters, it's job well done from the batting unit.
It is, and especially for Rohit Sharma as well. In the first 10 overs, he seemed like braving the entire storm from that Netherlands bowling attack, while Virat Kohli was still taking his time. Let's have a look at Netherlands bowlers as well. They did a real good job inside the first 10 overs. The ground fielding was perfect. And really quickly, before we go, Simon, they'd be very happy with a part of their bowling and their ground fielding as well, but they'd also take lessons and big ones at that.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I was surprised that Shari's only bowled the one over. I thought they might have used him a little bit differently. Tim Pringle, I've been really impressed with Tim. I mean, I played with his dad. We know, the Pringle family, the sort of how Chris was back in the 90s, and how he was a brilliant one-day bowler and had a lot of variations. Tim is a vastly different type of cricketer to his dad, but I've been really impressed with him throughout the sort of the round one, and then leading into the tournament proper as well, the Super 12. So it was nice. I thought Cricbuzz could have bowled another over. Van Meekeren has been very good throughout the early parts of the tournament as well. So I just, they were decent. Logan van Beek, look, he's at times has been expensive as far as the Netherlands are concerned, and that's been one of their issues. They just could have maybe used those options slightly differently. But I think they're relatively happy with what Klaassen, Pringle and Van Meekeren have done in particular.
Yeah. So now our prediction game really was, we were all vanquished. I predicted 225, 218 for Simon and 200 for Zach. So we'll go again. Prediction time again. Power play, how many do the Netherlands get, Zach?
I think 35.
35, all right.
For 2.
35 for 2. Okay then.
Trying
Simon?
to get precise.
Oh dear. So I mean, I'm gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna say 45. Again, there's two kids, and I say kids with all due respect, playing in this team whose fathers I played with. One is Chris Pringle, the other one is Alex O'Dowd, Max's dad. So I'm gonna say Max gets off to a decent start. I think they'll lose a couple of wickets in that power play and maybe get 45.
All right, 45 for 2. I say 30 for 1. That's all the time we have on Cricbuzz Live. But before we go, there's a lot of madness around every India game. And Gautam Bhimani has got us something really, really special from the SCG. Enjoy that. We'll see you super soon.
If you came to the SCG today, you'd think there's a World Cup final on. Just going by the throngs of crowds to my right, to my left, just getting here was quite an ordeal. Now my task today was to try and find a Dutch fan. So far the only orange I've found is on my glasses and on the stripes of all the Indian jerseys. But come this way. There in the queue you can see one. Over in stand B there were 2 more. And in stand C I've counted 3. So far we've got 6 Dutch fans and about 66,000 Indian fans. You do the math, whether it's the crowd or the actual might of the players, this is all one-way traffic. But the atmosphere, as I said, could be a World Cup final.